accuracy.
I did that like 3 days ago. Don't trust me. Like
Proof.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't take a picture of it.
Oh, so you're just just claiming it? Hey guys, I got 101 accuracy with 200 words 3 days ago.
I just did my first try right here. You said it was a monkey tap. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, monkey tap.
Oh god, the abyss.
You gotta get it to Sawyer.
Cornwood just text the photo to me. I'll put it.
The abyss.
Oh wait, is it a?
I'm about 75.
I have a workaround that makes it work.
Okay. Is this on a timer? I can't type.
Projected and broken.
What are you doing to fix it?
Oh,
I'll
hold on.
demonstrate that in a little.
Fucking hell, hold on.
Wait, what was the highest?
Bell got 116.
Okay, so I just got this, and I waited like 4 seconds to press the last button.
I don't.
Still pretty weak. Not 100% accuracy.
100%.
Brother, you got 92, but less words.
Who's counting? Really? Who's
that thing? That's stat tracker.
Yeah,
that's literally.
Yeah, it's literally what it does.
Words per minute. They are.
But who's really counting though?
You started. You put it up first.
But it, it's AI. It could be.
Okay.
Could be faulty.
You're saying that you juiced your own numbers?
No.
I'm not gonna claim to be a god. I got 87.
87?
Yeah.
This is how I'm doing it.
I think that's what I got.
Through my own website.
That's kind of a flex.
I made it.
What the hell?
That's how it works. You just append the whatever you're wanting to do to the end of my URL.
All right, well, fuck.
Very smart.
What's that website where like we could all like join in on a type race?
Type racer.
Typeracer.com.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I don't want the smoke though. Trust me.
You don't want the smoke bones?
That's all you'll see is like freaking dust flying up. Somebody so far ahead.
I guess if you face the other way, yeah.
What's it called? What's the site called?
Type racer, I think.
Or the site that everybody else is doing.
The site that everyone else is doing.
Yeah, what's that site?
Monkey type.
I'll tell you what. I'll put it in our general email chain. Hold on.
No, the cadets
Already
can't join. No.
I can give it to you guys. In the.
You want me to put this on the board, Cornwood?
Yeah, how do I do that again?
Just look on the board. It's up right now. You just append that and replace.
Chad, how do I
replace what's there with whatever you want?
How do I get like a? Oh shit!
Structure's intact. It's a hacky way around it, and my web server's probably being hit with 100 requests right now, but I don't care.
Hello, Chastity.
Hello, hello.
I'll put it up for you though.
How are
you? How do you like create your own?
Oh, here, let me do it so I can practice.
Super clean.
Okay.
Amazing.
There you go.
Hey, Bones, come here.
Oh, I got it.
Do we have the captains here?
I figured it out, but I think we have
talk somewhere.
Yeah, they're having a quick chat.
Okay.
Oh my god, Svensson looks like he fucking audits for fun.
Nice one. Good one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
What is furaffinity.net?
I don't want to know.
What are you trying? What are you trying to
Google
do
it.
there,
Bones, what did you put up here,
Google
Bones?
it.
I am concerned. I'm opening up a webpage to figure out what you just put in.
Oh, it doesn't work. Damn, I got it.
Oh, that's not. You're not using my site. Never mind. Okay.
What the fuck
Hey,
is
yo.
that?
For
Who did this?
free?
I can't see the
Hold up to
projector
this.
again.
Eyes.
I'm sorry, but I'm changing it back.
I think I was today
That
years old to
increase
learn
morale?
Yoshi had feet.
Doesn't it usually
that
have like
make you feel
sneakers on or
small?
something?
Yeah,
Yeah, Flop. How does that make you feel?
uncomfortable.
Are you happy with that information?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Damn.
Flop, what's the car that you documented called?
Hello, Captain.
The one on
Howdy.
Wild or that
Ooh.
last one we were at,
Yeah.
Barrack
Uh,
in here right now.
Glendale.
Glendale.
Mr.
Nice.
Dugong.
Barrack, Flop, can I get both the outside for just a quick moment, please?
Sure thing.
Sure.
Before we start.
I would have called him out. on-
Yo, I don't
I
want to
would've-
point out the obvious, but that espresso machine got installed, and look how many people are here.
It's gonna finally happen.
Hey,
That's
What?
a morale booster right there, okay?
Oh, so thanks for the raid, brother. I appreciate it, dude.
So I can provide you guys the anonymous questions we got. There is one. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It was 2 anonymous questions. No other questions were submitted.
Really?
And before we jump to the meeting, I want to see if this is something you've heard about. When will Shift 1 officers stop trying to put down / find any excuse to reprimand Shift 3 officers during Shift 3?
I'm sorry.
Has this been brought to either of you?
Ask that again.
Read it. It is, when will Shift 1 officers stop trying to put down / find any excuse to reprimand
Yo,
Shift
Sil,
3
thank you,
officers
man. I
during
appreciate it.
Shift 3? I'm assuming, being that it was during Shift 3, it would be brought to one of you or myself. If it was brought to anyone, I'm curious, is this something you've heard about, been brought to your attention in any way, shape, or form?
I know that we've talked about how people view Shift 1 sort of in this cultural light of being sort of a different shift. And I understand shifts operate differently. As for anyone in particular, belittling? Not that I
I'd say
can...
belittling. It just put down / find any excuse to reprimand them.
The put down. Barrick, let me ask you a quick question. With Forte, was that a Shift 1 officer who he was talking about was talking back to him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all the issues. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess to answer your question, yes, I have heard of it, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like that is a daily occurrence. I mean, that did happen at one point, and I know it was brought to our attention from, I guess, an officer from Forte, but I don't know if I can recall anyone else.
Okay, and that was the vomit situation. Or was there something else?
I'm not gonna lie to you and sugarcoat this. I actually don't remember when this was, and I couldn't recall to you what incident this was in regarding. I do know that Forte did come to me at one point and tell me that he feels like everyone kind of tries to put him down, and it makes him feel unwanted and unwelcomed. This was probably a couple weeks ago, though, and I would argue to say that things have changed in the last few weeks, but there was, I guess, that question, but that's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, essentially, it shouldn't be happening. Is the way we're going to respond to it. Shouldn't be happening. If that's the case, bring it through chain of command to get it addressed. You know.
Mm-hmm.
That's. I don't. I haven't heard of any other issue besides the vomit, which has been addressed.
I don't think it's really like a problem during this time, but I think that's probably a kind of general feeling. And I think that's the best way. All the things that I've been trying to say to you in Slacks, I think that is a very appropriate way of putting it on paper. That's just at least my 2 cents.
Okay. Okay.
I am going to ask you just in terms of sort of how this operates. Do you want to kind of run through stuff and let us kind of bounce off after you talk? Do you have a system for this?
No system. It's gonna be open floor. They can ask questions, captains, seniors, and frankly, I'm good with anyone responding.
Okay. Yeah, all good. I got no issues.
Like I said, that was the only question that was put anonymously, so everything else will be on the fly here in the meeting.
Were there a lot of questions?
There's 2 questions. The one that I just
total?
read to you, and then one
Okay.
about time, which was the
Thank you, Still. I
ISO
appreciate you.
stuff.
Sorry, we got caught in the middle of stuff. I appreciate you, brother. Thank
from
you.
Trig, frankly, asking if the time could be added to the announcement for UTC, which it was.
Okay.
So, and ISO did win. So when it comes to standardized date, we now are going to be following that. We're going to announce today.
Wait, does that mean year, month, day? Don't say it ain't so.
38 to 36. Everyone voted. That's where we're at.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be blunt. I did not vote because I didn't care which way it went.
That's fair. It's either
We're
or.
part of the problem.
I mean, I guess when you put it to a couple votes, I guess I am part of the problem. You're right.
Do you think I'm going to go back to that question? We're going to try to answer this quickly. Do you think that that's been getting addressed in terms of the issue shift 1 people on shift 3?
When you say address, you mean from us to those people, or do you mean just kind of
I'm
keep
saying resolved? The issue at hand hasn't been getting resolved.
I don't know if the fact that it
should
has
get resolved, but I'm gonna be entirely honest because there's no point in sugarcoating it. Like, the only way that it's been resolved is those people not stepping foot in shift 1.
That's definitely not a good way to have it resolved.
It's not, but
That's the only viable solution for the people if they want to. I don't want to make it seem like that they're not doing their job, because they are, but you know, some people take very little mistakes that you can talk to others about and blow them up into huge things without actually like fundamentally helping the person or coming to some kind of understanding. And yeah, I'm not always the best at explaining it, but yeah, that's basically what I've been trying to get across.
I'm trying to get a grasp on it just so I can properly address it. I don't want to blow it to the side for whoever addressed this. I just I want to understand it a bit further, which is why I'd like that person to come forth so I can.
Yeah, of course.
If either of you have more information, come to you. That's fine, or come directly to me.
I'm sure we could have
that as well.
a conversation after the meeting as well if you want to try maybe break it down a little bit further.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'd like to try to grab seniors and just grab them together real quick and talk about that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
And we'll see what else we end up getting into here. So.
Okay.
All right, we'll head back in there.
I expect this to turn into a yelling match. It should be interesting, but hopefully
Yelling match.
I'm sure people are going to be yelling out questions, and depending on answers, I'm sure people are going to have very strong opinions. A lot of people here today, but should be good. Should be healthy.
See what happens.
Yeah. Do what we got to do. Let's do it.
Unfortunately, there was an attack on the First Lady, Mrs. Thoroughbred, and I do see her back there. Is that you, Mrs.? Is that her back there?
It is. Thank you
How's
to
your-
all
how's
of you for coming, and thank you for
course.
protecting me. You're amazing. You're all heroes, and I just wanted to thank each and every one of you personally.
We're
thank you. 'Cause
we're
doing her job, you
heroes
still got her. I'm
until
sorry
we're
about
not
that,
part of the
and,
problem.
I wasn't kidnapped.
You know what I'm saying?
That's two things to you, lads and lasses.
Happy to help. We had folks undercover and nearby as well, in plain clothes, ready to pounce if something needed. We had officers ready, and we made sure that we were prepared because just in case something happens, we know this is Los Santos. It is full of folks that sometimes do unreasonable and illogical things, and it tends to lead to violence. So we have to always be ready for something like that. However, there was something that happened that is concerning, and it's an ongoing investigation where Judge Jackson and Dr. Cantor are both shot on their way home, leaving the wedding reception, driving southbound on Gresham Highway. We hit Officer Fenwell as guard to try to provide him backup. However, there was somebody that had a traffic collision with him, and then shortly afterwards, they're both gunned down, and the gunman escaped.
It's about to be a good
it's an ongoing
one.
investigation. I'm not going too much in detail because you know, it's a bit sensitive, but
I should probably get some water for this. I'm going to expect to need it.
We have leads on this, and we're going to keep pursuing them to make sure that these people are behind this do face the wrath of justice.
Maybe a beer while I'm at it. I don't know.
Any other announcements regarding PD stuff?
Can I get a beer? I don't know.
Anything y'all want to talk about before we begin our AMA?
We got 3 guns off the streets in shift 2.
Say that again, McNulty.
We got 3 firearms off of the streets, one being a PD firearm during shift 2.
Nice. Good fucking shit.
Beer time,
Well,
probably.
no,
What's
no,
up,
no,
Ace?
no.
Thanks so much for the 2 months. I appreciate you.
I thought it was mine.
No. It was the firearm used to shoot you in the face.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Good work. Very well done.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
Did you point at somebody else?
Did you?
You shoot me?
Did you
I should. My gun. Did.
What report did
my
you?
gun shot you.
Wait,
So
wait.
Did the gun just fall out of your pocket, Bones?
Well, let me ask you something, Bones. Do guns kill people or people kill people?
Oh,
whoa! Let's not get political.
Well,
I
let's
can
talk
answer
about
this.
impact.
Let's. You know.
I think guns should be banned.
And
I think we
McNulty.
should we should just capitalize the fact that 3 guns were taken off the street and well done to shift.
That's
two.
right.
Good work. Good work.
Good shit.
Very
More
good
guns
work.
off the
Good
streets, the
work.
better. Okay.
McNulty, I
Well
can
done.
talk to you about it after. Did any of those guns come back to that strand of robberies that occurred recently?
Negative.
Okay. Good shit.
This gun, molten fucking hot. Let me tell you.
And
However,
What about Molten?
pretty much out of statute of limitations.
good police work like that should not go unrecognized. And this is something we're working on with the public information officer that we're proposing that be something linked to the PD liaison, to where whenever good police work is happening, the public should know about it. There's plenty of times when the public does not know about the good police work we're doing, and they only hear about the bad news. And as a result, they associate the PD with bad stuff, and they're not really hearing about the good stuff that's happening out there.
You know,
There's plenty
when
of
you
good
put it
battling evil,
like
that
that.
happens within this police department, and I feel like a lot of these wonderful, ladies and gentlemen within the LSPD should receive recognition for their hard police work to protect and serve, to be the shield, to remove anything that is dangerous off the streets. And we're working on that because I want you out there to be, a role model, a star for other people to be inspired by, to respect and understand exactly what they're doing.
Thanks, Cap. I agree.
Other than that, I have nothing else to bring up unless y'all want to bring up something.
We do have an announcement for ISO.
Oh yeah, tell them. Go ahead.
The results are in. Y'all voted. New standard for date, year, month, day. Is that right? Year, month, day?
Your month day.
Year, month, day is a new standard that we're going to be using. ISO got approved to 38 to 36. So that is the new standard we're going to use for dates when it comes to the LSPD. If
Sorry
you're
about
dating
that.
something on a report, it needs to be done through ISO.
Sorry about that,
More
bud.
information on that in the report 2116. And so how to properly use ISO.
I thought I was voting for a satellite that was getting shot into space.
No.
Wait,
Did
what?
you read?
Really?
Did you read the report tied to it?
Starlink, not ISO.
Infrared space telescope. Thought we were like getting a satellite to like
IST?
observe.
No, it's ISO.
Yeah.
EST.
Nah.
Go on, what do you have a
ESA?
question?
Whoa.
Yeah. Why did we do the vote this way? This is like the most confusing way I've ever seen a vote done.
How else
I
did you
really
want the
think
vote?
it needs to be revoted on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
I think having it as an announcement where people typically read, and also if you're going up the list from the bottom, let's say you're behind, like I was, and you're going through and you see it and you're like, what the hell is this shit? And then you hit okay, I read this, and you clicked it. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh damn, okay, I already voted yes on yay. So you're kind of set up. It's like predetermined for that to win. It's kind of like what is it on Twitter? They got likes and oh, like if you like this, retweet if you want to. You know what I mean? Obviously they
recommended
rigged
to
the
the IT
vote.
guy reactions, like 2 reactions, like a yes or no reaction. Something like that to where we can be noted. It's something we're working on for sure. We wanted that since
I
day
don't
one
actually disagree
to
with
help,
that.
you know, separate the two, because I do agree with you, but we're trying to work with the system we have right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is, you might as well just hey, write your name on here, and I mean, people ain't gonna delete people's names, right? I mean, there's a log. If you're deleting people's names, that's a DAP, right? And it's a MDT infraction. You're
Not
going
everyone
through
has
and
the
changing.
ability to edit announcements.
Well, it's just a report, right?
No, it's an announcement.
Hear
We
me
can tie a
out.
report to it though.
What if we use, our other channel of communication where announcements get put out, where we can put a reaction?
Actually,
at
that
least
would be
until something on the MDT is resolved.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Can I react to?
I'm just saying, I don't think
reports
that
with an
the
emoji?
current
That'd
count
be great.
is accurate
Okay.
because of the way announcements are at the moment.
So you guys are saying recount. That's what you're saying right now. You're saying
Recount.
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 the capital.
I want a third option.
Recount.
What's the third option?
The better option. Like writing too far, and then like the first 3 letters, like Feb. and
Day,
then
month,
the date
year?
of
God.
the year.
Question mark?
Okay, no.
I mean,
no
that.
Why don't-
typos.
why don't-
Let's not
Day,
type
month,
out
year,
words
but
now.
so it's less confusing for the Americans. It's day and then Feb, at like the start.
Well,
of the
why do we even have to
and then
type all that
day.
shit? Just say yesterday.
anywhere.
Can we not just say yesterday or 2 days ago?
No, that's terrible because in a year from now, when I'm looking back, yesterday means something completely different.
Well, no, you just change it every day.
I like that idea very
You
much.
just got done telling me that the votes on these two things would be not the same because you read one first.
The fuck you talking about?
No, you are not putting in that effort.
We'll do a revote through the email chain so you can react appropriately.
Some
Hell
cadets
yeah.
Can't vote.
I'm sorry?
I said
don't
some
have tags?
cadets can't. No.
Okay, I'll double check as well. Make sure you got proper tags.
Okay.
Alright.
Just gonna jot this down here. List.
Democracy works. Look at that.
We'll give it a week as
Yippee.
well.
Democracy manifested.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
now we're entering the mail-in voting territory now. It's a whole thing. Anyway.
You start doing mail-in votes. Donald Bush the 23rd is going to end up
I don't
voting.
trust robots with my vote, brother.
Well, that's the problem with voting through the email chain. Somebody else could, come in there and vote on somebody else's behalf without them knowing.
Yeah, email's always been a problem.
Sleepy Joe's trying to get me to vote
Wait,
for
how?
ISL.
How would this be an issue?
Holy.
They're able to access your email chain.
Oh,
that was funny.
Oh.
That was
Well,
funny.
I know
Always
which
gonna
I'm
be a problem.
picking.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
All right. We'll put it up. We'll get a vote up again. All right. Anybody have anything else they want to announce before we get into the questions? Nothing else. Okay. If I get all seniors up here, then the way I foresee this happening, essentially, is we're going to present. Frankly, we have one question that was sent in on that document. Only one question was sent in. We're going to address that question, then we'll open the floor to any questions that anybody has. I don't mind if any seniors, captains, anyone up here responds to it.
I'm gonna go with
Anyone can speak up and speak for it.
Okay.
So the first question that was sent in anonymously was, when will Shift 1 officers stop trying to put down / find any excuse to reprimand Shift 3 officers during Shift 3?
Ooh.
Right into it, huh? Okay.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Hey, I didn't ask that question, but I will double down on that shit. I see that shit every day.
And how do you see it? What was going on?
I see it because I get on duty and I have like 3-4 people tell me some shit that happened during shift 1 every day. I'm like, holy shit, I got to get out on patrol. But I listen to you because we're family here and you need to be heard. But I'll put my name on that shit.
Here's the kicker about this question, though. It says in shift 3.
Yeah, so it's overnight while I'm asleep is what I'm saying. So it'll be overnight. Shift 3 transitions into shift 1, and then in shift there's a major culture shock that hits between 1 and 2 and 3.
That is taking place in shift 3, though.
Yes.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what it's,
I mean,
it's stating.
yeah.
Can somebody elaborate more on that? What is going on exactly?
So here's what I want to put out there before we ask anybody who potentially wrote this to step up is it shouldn't be happening. First of all, second of all, we want to address this. We need to address this. If you're not comfortable speaking about it here, if the person who wrote this is here, bring it to a senior, bring it to a captain. This needs to be addressed. It should be addressed. I'm okay with talking about this here. I'm okay with talking about this after in private. Just it needs to be brought up. And it should not be happening.
Well, I think the best way for that to make sense and operate is I usually wake up at basically like shift 1 storm, right? And then I have about 4 hours before my shift actually starts. If people come to me with problems outside of my shift, I direct them to a shift 1 senior. If there's no seniors around, I'll take it and then do my due diligence, report it, and then slap it onto a shift 1 senior. Because every shift has different kind of shift 2 is very different to 3, 3 is different to 1, 2 is different to 1. Seniors approach things differently. I think the best way to approach that is have seniors and the command of that deal with that problem. Because this will happen where it's like nobody wants someone outside of their warehouse to come in and be like, wrong, you're in trouble, you're wrong. Nobody wants that. Yeah, nobody wants that. It's personally, it would annoy the shit out of me. Because I deal with my wheelhouse. I can't really affect shift 1, I can't affect shift 3, but I can control, work, and operate 2. The way I see it.
Is there an example we can use or something like that? And, like, ask me anything. Like, is there anything that topic or that question that was being brought up with that, and is there anything else we could talk about it that we can discuss now so we can be able to figure it out?
I'm gonna be real. Whoever submitted that clearly wants to be anonymous.
Right, and
It was
that's why I'm not gonna push you on someone.
If
But
it was me, my name would be plastered on there.
hang on here. I understand it's intended to be anonymous, but we also do need to address it. It's a problem that we want to fix. So that's why I'm saying if it doesn't need to be or doesn't want to be brought up, whoever put it in, brought up here in front of everyone, completely okay with being approached after the meeting and talked to about specifically.
I can second that as well if anybody wants to come talk to me.
So this isn't about this particular subject, but should there be something going forward where people can have a back and forth anonymously, some kind of system put in place for that?
I mean, that is kind of the goal with his, feedback, right? Is you could provide it through anonymously, or you could place your name on it, right? I think we're trying to open the floor for something like that, so people feel like they're heard. A lot of time, officers feel like they're not being heard from the people through the chain of command, or the captains, people at top. So we're trying to allow more of better line of communication. But at the same time, just because you're providing feedback or you're making a statement doesn't mean it's always going to be true. Doesn't mean it's always going to be what exactly is going on. There's always two sides to the story, and we ask people just to be patient with that.
I'm not sure if two-sided anonymous conversations is good either.
No, I don't think they will be good.
The only way this works is if there's a follow-up AMA where the person can then clarify after having been told we need a little more info.
So here's what I can say is I could just leave that document up. If the person wants to follow up with more details, we can also address it that way. So it can continue to remain anonymous, and if further issues were to come up that somebody wanted to use a specific situation as an example, that document will be there. Okay. Anyone else up here has anything to address on this matter? Specific matter?
I'll just make a note real quick and state that if anybody ever does have concerns and needs to bring it to a senior, especially in shift 3, I don't want anyone to feel like that they're gonna get kicked down for that. I am here. Barrick is here. In shift 3, if you have a problem, I don't care if it's at a shift. If you have a problem and you need to bring it to a senior and we are around, I have no problem listening to you. If it needs to be brought up, I have no problem bringing it up, and I have no problem giving you an answer, hopefully within 24 to 48 hours. That goes for just about
Watson
anything.
is also a
Yes,
senior
yes.
as well. So.
And Watson. I'm sorry. Yes.
All right, next question.
We have no further anonymous questions or even questions in general besides adding UTC time to meeting times, which we heeded that and added that to the announcement. So that opens the floor to anyone here. Any questions? Anything that needs to be brought up? We're up here. Hit us with it.
Abu?
Hey, can I give like a 2-minute speech if possible?
Let's.
Are you asking a question or are you giving a speech?
No, it's a speech.
Are you asking, do you have the capacity to give a 2-minute speech?
I
you're
work
asking
on
if you
speech
are
for 2
capable of it?
minutes. I prepare a speech. If I can take 2 minutes, I can doing it. You know.
I'm at the end. How about I'm at the end?
I'm good at the end. Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
I love him. I love him so
I
much.
just realized he kind of looks like y'all remember Saul Eastman. He looks like Saul Eastman in his prime.
Well, Abu's
Thank you very
65
much.
Saul
years
Eastman
old.
aging
I don't know
like
if that's
fine
prime.
wine.
Abu's 65. How is that prime?
Well, that just means it's all struggling.
All right. Let's bring it back in. Bell, you had a question?
It might be kind of like a bit of a longer question, but for everyone up there, what is something that you see within your shift that you dislike that you wish you could change, and what is like how could we help change that? Like procedure, way officers do something.
For shift 3, I think shift 3 is the one that I'm obviously in the most, and I could give my opinion on. I think that shift 3 operates pretty damn well. I believe department wide numbers is a problem. I think that would alleviate a lot of issues. It wouldn't fix everything, but it would alleviate a lot of issues.
Sky, can you drop me, please?
So our bottleneck right now is training. So training is something we need to focus on, and that's getting more FTOs out there. That's making sure that current FTOs aren't getting burnt out, which is, hard. I'll put it frankly. That's hard because that's on each FTO. That's on each individual person. So we definitely recommend people take their breaks. Don't push yourself, because a FTO who is forcing themselves beyond what they're comfortable with will not always produce the best officer as well. But currently, I'd say numbers is our my opinion, the biggest issue right now, or a large issue.
For 2, mine would be prioritizing, right? It's I find myself into micromanaging a lot, and not that that's a problem. I'm a senior; that's what I'm supposed to do. But a lot of the times, I'll be looking at the general where people are in Los Santos and being like, okay, we just got a 911 about an anonymous 911 being like, yo, dog, someone ate my dog and stabbed my buddy. And then I'll hear over the radio, hey, responding to just a suspicious activity call. I'm like, brother, chances are that someone yoinking a HVAC unit out the roof, and not that that doesn't deserve a response, but someone is potentially losing their life alongside their animal. Now, I understand that there's crimes out there people want to respond to, but we are here to serve and protect. I don't give a fuck about a HVAC unit when there's someone out there losing their life. And I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of people ignore the 911s over the shiny dispatch that pops up. And I find myself a lot of the time having to reel people in when it comes to prioritizing crime.
Agreed.
Mine for shift 2 would just be staying focused on what we're supposed to be doing, which is kind of like McNulty's answer, but it's a little different. I feel like we bunch up at MRPD, or we get a little lazy with certain things. Or another thing I see is sometimes we are a little soft when it comes to things, which I would like to improve on, but that will come.
I think a big one that I noticed is a lot of folk now not going to 77s, now backing officers up. I try to get people to go to it in my shift. I'm sure it's something the larger every shift probably has that problem, especially due to the numbers. And what Turner said, definitely a thing in shift 1 as well. We need more numbers. Goes without saying. So,
my perspective on things, definitely more numbers, more delegation, more promotions of people in command to allow the full chain of command to be fully active in a way to where people in power roles can able to go out there and get things done without the bottleneck of talking to a captain.
I think the kind of voice on shift 3, I'm with Turner on this. I do think that the lack of units is definitely something that we are working on, and I would even argue it's gotten a lot better recently, and we are working to continue to make it better. It's not perfect, and I think that we need to just strive for the continuance rather than working on getting it done tomorrow, right? We're working on getting it done at the pace that we can.
All right. Any follow-up questions on that?
No. I appreciate you guys for the answers. Thank you.
And feel free to ask any tough questions. I know in a larger setting it's harder to ask personal questions or things maybe like more, small group settings. But go ahead, Alexis.
What is the most common mistake that officers make, and how to avoid or resolve it?
I have the easiest answer for me if I could harp on this one.
Oh, yes, I do too as well. Go ahead.
Processing.
Ask for second opinions on things.
Oh yeah, true.
I see that a lot. Go to other people. It could be another officer. It can be the same rank as you. Just get second opinions on things and seek others for advice is the best thing that I could recommend.
Mine would be, I'm going to say communication, which is obviously breakdowns all across the city, but I mean communication over the radio. I know that sometimes you can get flustered in a scene, like if there's a pursuit or a foot pursuit, and you are unsure of what to describe what you're seeing down the radio. I would rather you say anything at all down the radio. Anything that you see, just be like, even if it's like, you don't know what the kind of car it is that you're chasing, like last known direction, any kind of description. It has 4 wheels and a sunroof. Any kind of description, don't be afraid to say it down the radio, because that gives information on officers to work with and run with rather than dead air. Dead air during pursuits, any kind of pursuit, annoys the shit out of me. So I would just say communication over radio. That's my biggest pet peeve.
For me, it goes with radio, but it's listening. I believe listening is a skill. It's an art that you have to give somebody your full undivided attention all the time to fully understand what's going on, to hear them. How many times have we dealt with folks saying, oh, what the fuck? You guys just showed up now? How come nobody responds now on calls? I don't trust the police anymore. And those folks who are talking to you, yes, they might be saying some nasty things and are yelling at you, but they're asking for help. They need your help. And, they might be frustrated, but you got to listen to the problem, what's going on. And I'm still learning as well. I'm guilty of that sometimes, but I think listening is number one.
I definitely think communication. I mean, it's been iterated up here multiple times, so I'm not going to go into it, but communication is extremely important. Something that needs to happen both ways, listening and being able to effectively communicate to people. Whether it be fellow officers, whether it be to suspects in custody, whether it be civilian population, whatever the case may be, it's communication.
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on that. I feel like out of the times when, let's say, Bones and I have I have a problem with Bones in general. His attitude, demeanor, opinion, his hair color, his glasses, his weird body, and the fact he plays League, right? All of that. All of that shit, I'm like, I have a huge problem with Bones. If I have a problem with Bones, I assume that him and I are adults. I can assume that.
This was
I assume that he at least has a brain, and that him and I can sit down and that him and I can sit down and have a conversation. If yo, okay.
What happened?
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, if I have a problem with an officer, let it be professional or outside of that. For the love of God, sit down with that person and have a direct conversation. I know confrontation is scary for a lot of people. They don't want to be that person that kicks up potential dust towards somebody. But if you, let's say, go behind that person's back and start yapping away to your opinion to somebody else instead of actually addressing the problem, that creates more problems. Because if I think Bones has a problem with me and I hear he's going around yapping away about me, that makes my problem worse. So if you have a problem with me or anybody else, your fellow officers, for the love of God, be an adult. And that shouldn't be asking a lot. That should not be asking a lot. But I feel like a lot of the times it is. So if you have a problem with anybody, have a fucking conversation. Have a conversation with someone and don't swear as much as I do.
I will.
Because it
Sorry, go
it is that easy. It is that easy. It is that easy.
I will second on McNulty's because that would be my answer for this. If you come to me and tell me that you have an issue with an officer, my very first question I will always ask, without fail, and I'm going to say it now and everybody will know it, is did you attempt or did you talk to that person? If the answer is no, then I'm going to ask you to go and speak to that person. And if you cannot come to the agreement, at that point, you can then come to me or to a senior. Before that happens, though, I ask simply that people have a conversation with each other.
I mean, sometimes it's not easy to have that conversation too, as well, where you feel like you might have a hard time approaching that person. But
Poor Nakota.
the best way to de-escalate things is talk, to have a conversation with each other, to have that dialogue.
Oh, and if you want a mediator, ask for one. I know, like I'll say, people aren't great with confrontations sometimes. Just ask for a mediator. You know, sometimes people need that.
Absolutely. All right. Any follow-up questions on that one?
No, but I have another. I'll wait.
All right.
Anybody got? I mean, go ahead. I don't think anybody's asking any questions right now, so go ahead.
If no one else is asking, then I'll ask.
Go right ahead.
Can you recall a negative situation that made you go off duty?
Oh, McNulty should answer that one.
That strangely they asked that because it happened today. A very large scene on Broge and Cougar, not Cougar, sorry, Broge and Covenant. Cougar's down up north in Winewood. Where shots fired, lots of blood, lots of people scrambling. It becomes a little hectic, but we did what we could. Found an individual with a PD firearm, GSR positive, arrested, medical, got everything I needed, brought him down to interrogation. Got a lawyer. The gun was molten hot. He consented to a raid. Went through all the properties, nothing, nada. This guy was willing to work with me. Very much willing to work with me. Oh, I'm annoyed just thinking about it. Right up until the last minute, lots of edging going on here. Lots of edging. To the last minute, just about to give me fucking the Eden's apple. Lawyer is like, give me a moment. Not the lawyer, sorry. One of the legal aides is like, give me a moment.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think they call it gooning now.
Gooning? No, gooning's what they do. No, that's borging. I'm thinking of borging. What's gooning?
It's like edging, but cool. Like for the kids.
Isn't gooning one of the
Edging
never
for
mind, I'm not.
kids.
Are you fucking kidding me? RP fucking detected my asshole. Yeah, speaking of edging, edge me all the fucking way to crashing my goddamn game. What the fuck? Too much sexy talk. Your computer got shy. My computer, goddamn. I gotta deal with the problem that I got with it right now. We're talking about gooning, something like that. I have to head to bed. All good. Have a good night, Jenny. You take care. Please, please let me spawn back at the PD. Sorry, dudes. Oh, fuck. Oh, this is... Phones, I swear to God. For fuck's sake. Dude, I love everything. Sorry, dudes. It's really fucking annoying. It's all good. What the fuck? Music. What is going on right now? My computer fucking shit in the bed. What the hell's going on? Thanks for bearing with me. Very frustrating. Hopefully we get back in quick, but probably not. Purgatory looks different now. Dude, nothing bothers me more than the scuff that happens sometimes. It's like, this shit doesn't happen when I'm out, like, out on patrol. But, like, in the middle of a scheduled time to be around, and this shit's gotta happen. Every time without fail. I hate it. I want nothing more than for this to just happen at any other time of the day. Nah, it's all good.
Because they're worried about punishment or how they're being viewed when they ask these questions, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to learn. We need to have a growth mindset, and we need to understand that feedback is important, and listening to an officer could help us understand things better.
Cornwood, do you remember what I said during that whatever it was, large group conversation up in the stairwell? When it comes to me and you having a conversation, we have our opinions, and let's say you disagree with that opinion and you go and say that to somebody else, you will
but
paraphrase.
I don't do that.
I know. No, I'm not. I'm using that as an example. I'm just using that as an example to take away from that, right? You will take what I'm saying and paraphrase it into your own words, and shit will get lost all the time.
Okay.
If you run through a bunch of people, words are going to get lost.
Yeah. No,
so
I agree with that.
I like this idea because everybody here is now hearing our opinion. It's not coming from you or any other officer. It's coming straight from us to the crowd.
Right. Get a
And
telephone instead. Yeah.
Yes. I hate the fucking game of telephone. It annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because facts get lost and people change things into their own opinion.
Yep.
So when it comes to this, I like it because it's a group setting. But I also feel in that same regard that sometimes people are intimidated by that as well. That is why I am open to having that conversation as well in private. But I like this setting because everybody's here.
Could I ask what the question was?
I wanted to just really quick piggyback off of that. That's why I also wanted to have time for people to come up and say stuff not in front of a fucking crowd, because I understand that it could be very daunting. And even in this environment, like that anonymous question, that is a very serious issue. I do agree. And like Turner said, we can now sit here and tell officers if they don't want to say who said that anonymous question, they can go follow up Turner. They can go follow up a Shift 3 senior, and it could start to get resolved then. At least we know the problem.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good answer, honestly. But I mean, I'm just glad that there's a recognition of the problems that this poses, because, I mean, obviously not everybody's going to feel comfortable speaking in front of everybody else, because they might have a particular issue, and that's fine too. But I think, McNulty, to your point, I think that's
yep.
I think that was I think a damn good answer.
Yeah, and if anybody, yourself or cadet and upwards, is like, I do have a question, but I'm obviously intimidated because you got 3 captains and 4 seniors up here. That can be very intimidating. Find me, find Bones or a senior in your shift, and be like, hey, here's a question. Why does Bones wear those glasses? And I'd be like, I don't know. It's goofy.
Like I said, I'm leaving that document up to you. So if something comes to mind later on down the line, we'll be checking it periodically. We'll make sure answers get addressed as well.
Look great.
Or questions get addressed as well.
It was just a pop of the head.
First thing came to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess to the communication things and kind of why this whole AMA thing is happening here. Is there an example of like a problem was brought forward or something like that didn't go well communication wise, and like an example of a good one? So like to see the contradictions.
Oh boy, there's a lot of bad examples we can talk about here, right? And there's plenty of good too.
You
But
want to talk about the FTO Duncan thing, Bones? That'd be a good example instead of just going straight to the source of the problem.
Like, I guess what are the characteristics and traits of
Duncan if you want
of the good ones and versus the bad ones, as
maybe
far
just
as
leave
like
Duncan out then and just say I had an officer.
tendencies of how they were brought up and how they were addressed.
You're probably on the microphone.
Am I?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I did not hear him.
Okay.
Who wants to answer that?
You just go ahead. You answer.
Well, no, because I feel like it's come from you.
I'm sorry. I'm listening to a conversation next to me. Could you clarify the question real quick?
And let me clarify what you want me to talk about.
Sure. So, what are some examples of like what makes a good conflict resolution or a conflict being brought up versus a bad one?
Sure.
Like a good, you and them.
I think a good conversation would come from you coming to me with a question or a problem,
both sides of that,
and I'm able to then take it or even have you there to try and resolve that problem. What we get a lot of the times, and what we deal a lot with, and I have told Captain Slacks this multiple times, because people will ask, Captain will ask, how are things going? And the reality is people don't bring up a lot of the good things. A lot of people want to bring up the issues, which is fine. But usually we follow up that question with, okay, what's going on? Where did you hear that? Where did you, what give me an example. And people say, oh, I've heard it. And I've even heard people say the streets be talking. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I have an example or something to work off of, we have something that we can build on. But if you come to me with a concern and the follow-up question is what happened, what's going on, and there's nothing to back up that claim, it's very difficult for us to try and address certain issues. Usually having that example or having something actually valid to work off of, or even if it was secondhand, something valid to work off of to try and find a solution, if there is an actual problem, is way easier than being told that you heard it from somebody.
So to follow up on that, what makes it valid and not valid? Is it just firsthand experience, would you say?
I don't think firsthand experience. To my point, if if you come to me with something and there's actual context to it, then we can break that example down and talk about it, right? A lot of the times people have big pictures and people will come and say, there's a big problem going on and it involves everybody. Okay, what's the problem? And they'll give a small example. And when you hear the problem, we're able to fix a small problem, usually, right? Someone comes to me with an issue, it's something minor, something small, but they claim it to be something bigger than it really is. Let's talk about that exact issue. What happened? What's going on? Okay, let's break it down. Tell me how it started. How did it end? How did we get to this point? We can resolve that. But if you come to me and say the PD's gone to shit, or hey, everything's gone to hell, you know, it's a lot harder to take a small issue and try and resolve a bigger one when it's really not a bigger issue. If that helps.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Did everybody understand that?
I know I kind of get into paragraphs. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear.
Yeah, I can give another example. In shift 2, I kind of looked at something at face value with an officer and like looked at all a bunch of different things without really confronting that person and asking them about it. I kind of went straight to somebody else, and then that kind of spiraled to they went to somebody else, and it spiraled out of control. But about like a couple days ago, I just made sure because I knew it affected them, so I went to them straight up personally, and kind of picked their brain on what this happened. Told them about like, hey, I was actually one of the people that kind of brought this into Spiral, and I got the actual answer, and now that error is completely cleared and it's way better. So I think just us being able to come to you or you coming to us and then just talk about situations is probably the best bet.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Anyone else gonna talk?
Bill?
I feel like this one's going to be a lot shorter than the previous one I asked. If we do see a problem and we bring it up to like a senior or higher or whatever, would you guys rather us just bring the problem up, or would you rather have us like sit on it for a little bit and think about like possible solutions to try to like bring in the conversation so it's not like constant,
or PPOs,
quote unquote, bitching?
like if for a PPO, I would say bring it to your mentor. Like, or unless it's like a huge thing. If you see if you're having a problem, bring that to your mentor.
I think it's a good place to start. Something I've spoken to some officers recently about in terms of issues they brought up and they didn't see any change. I've recommended if you want to know the outcome of the feedback you're giving, if there's any results, if there's anything coming back from it, ask for it. Hey, Captain Turner, can you let me know what the outcome of XYZ situation is if you come up with one, or if there's a result from it? Let the person know that you want.
Nothing wrong with
feedback.
following up. Yeah, nothing wrong with following up as well too, as far as what's going on for sure. Yeah.
Forward.
How in depth do you want our questions and shit to get here?
Ask anything.
Okay. Can we talk about procedure?
Ask anything.
Sure.
Okay. So how do y'all feel about prosecutional discretion when pressing charges?
You mean selective enforcement?
Or do you mean officer discretion?
Same thing. It's the same thing. Officer discretion, prosecutional discretion, it's all the same thing. Selective enforcement, it's all the same.
So to answer your question, and I know you're not gonna like my answer, it's not black and white. It's case by case, depending on the circumstances, what's going on. To say every case is identical as far as when you investigate it is not fair, because there's always going to be a lot of variables and different elements involved. I think it comes from a lot of experience in making those judgment calls, and if you're not sure, then go through the chain of command as far as that.
Yeah, no, I don't. As far as saying I'm not gonna like that answer, actually, I don't think it's a bad answer. I think it's a good answer.
Definitely about the totality of the situation and circumstances surrounding it. Right? There's so much that goes into using officer discretion when it comes to pushing charges.